As most of you are aware by now, the Google memo appropriately titled Google's Ideological Echo Chamber, written by James Damore, hit the internet on Saturday, August 5th. The memo has gone viral and triggered a lot of outrage. This resulted with James Damore losing his livelihood by getting fired, as Google wanted to prove him right. That indeed, Google is in an ideological echo chamber, and they'd like to keep it that way. Kate Conger, who broke with the leaked memo, wrote, "A software engineer's 10-page screed against Google's diversity initiatives is going viral inside the company, being shared on an internal meme network and Google+. The document's existence was first reported by Motherboard, and Gizmodo has obtained it in full." Except that the memo published by Gizmodo was incomplete. It was obvious that there were reference numbers next to certain lines of text in the memo. Later on, after reading that James Damore had been fired for writing his memo, the full unedited memo surfaced online. The complete memo was very different in key aspects from the memo published by Gizmodo. The complete memo had 11 footnotes, a couple of graphs, and hyperlinks linking to legitimate studies and statistics that support James Damore's claims. In the Gizmodo article, these important graphs, footnotes, and citations that help support James's claims had been omitted. Whether you agree with his points or not, I think it's important to view the full memo as intended. I have included a link in the description and invite you to read the full memo if you haven't already. I'd like to go over a few of the footnotes that I think significantly change the narration of the memo. This document, mostly written from the perspective of Google's Mountain View campus, I can't speak about other offices or countries. His first footnote makes the very important distinction that he writes this memo based on his personal observations from Google's Mountain View campus. He can't comment on other campuses or offices as he can only speak from his personal experience. His second footnote reads, "Of course, I may be biased and only see evidence that supports my viewpoint. In terms of political biases, I consider myself a classical liberal and strongly value individualism and reason. I'd be very happy to discuss any of the document further and provide more citations." Here, he points out that the memo features evidence that confirms his own biases, while explaining his political values and reasoning. Also, would happily be open to discussion for anyone with counterpoints, as his memo was posted on Google's own internal discussion forum. This is a man self-aware of his own biases and is looking for a discussion. His third footnote is attached to the title of this section of his memo, which reads, "Possible non-biased causes of the gender gap in tech." Throughout the document, by tech, I mostly mean software engineering. He is noting that when he refers to tech in his memo, he is specifically referring to software engineering, being that he's a senior software engineer and can speak from his experience. He's not making generalized statements about the tech industry as a whole, the way the mainstream media would like you to believe. These are just the first 3 out of 11 footnotes that are found in the original document. I will not go over each and every point in this video, as it would make this video way too long. Again, in case you haven't had a chance to read it, I invite you to read it and judge for yourself. These footnotes significantly oppose the narrative the mainstream and leftist media would have you believe about James Damore. Shortly after getting fired, James Damore interviewed with Jordan Peterson. From it, we learned that the memo was circulated for about a month inside Google's own internal social media platform, and it did not spark much controversy there, as it was posted in a forum where employees are allowed to post and comment on controversial topics.
So you went to this meeting, and then you decided to write this document, and how long had you been working on it before you released it?
So I was doing it like throughout my free time. I just wanted to clarify my thoughts on this, and I really just wanted to be proven wrong, because if what I was saying was right, then something bad is happening. And so about a month ago, I submitted it to feedback to that program, and I saw that people looked at it, but no one actually said anything.
And what sort of feedback did you submit?
I basically said what I said in the document, and then I linked to the document itself. And so I actually published this about a month ago. And it was only after it got viral and then leaked to the news that Google started caring.
If that is true, then how did the memo leak and go viral?
Okay, so how did it go viral, and do you know, and how was it leaked?
Yeah, so there was a group at Google called Skeptics, and so I was like, okay, maybe they'll be able to prove me wrong in some way. Like they're skeptical about things, right? I don't know. I was naive, I guess. And so I sent them a message like, okay, what do you think about this? Is Google in some sort of echo chamber, or am I in an echo chamber? And then it just exploded after that, and our internal, it was just spread throughout all of Google.
Do you know, was it the skeptics group that started to spread it around?
Yeah.
It really seems that Google is run like a gulag, making this image all the more accurate. If James Damore is correct about the source of the leak, then we can guess that this skeptic community inside of Google is just a group of social justice warriors seeking out potential agitators or wrongthink among Google's labor force. This goes back to Gizmodo's Kate Conger, who broke with the story. Was she aware that the memo she was publishing was incomplete? Was she aware of what she was doing when she wrote, "The document's existence was first reported by Motherboard and Gizmodo has obtained it in full"? I can only guess one of two possible reasons that Gizmodo journalist Kate Conger, who broke with the story of the incomplete leaked memo, are: 1. She's not a very good journalist and just posted the memo as it was forwarded to her without any fact-checking or even reading it properly. If she had read what she posted in her article, she would have realized that the document was missing footnotes. Or 2, she knew that if she misrepresented James Damore's memo by omitting pieces, she could get more outrage clicks and turn a mildly controversial memo into a rage storm from social justice warriors, virtue signalers, and the identity politics people. Congratulations, Kate Conger. You helped get a man fired through either your incompetence or sheer malice.